Welcome back to the show, everyone. It's so awesome to have you here. How are you? How's life? I've got an amazing story for you today, and also five major lessons that I learned from this Saturday's Expo that anyone can apply to their life, but especially if you are a leader, an entrepreneur, a healer, a coach. You guys definitely will benefit a lot from this because that's exactly what the expo was about and who it was for. So, before I get into those five lessons, I want to tell the story about how it came to be that I was invited to this expo and then all of the craziness that emerged from that place. When I tell you that I knew that Saturday was going to be the turning point in my career, it I could not have been more correct. And I know, mark my words, that it's only going to continue to build from here. You can't sit around waiting for the opportunities to come before you get started. So let me just drop into a heart to heart message for you, which is you can't wait. Because if you wait for the opportunity to come up to then take action, you'll choke. You'll sabotage yourself. You will literally block yourself from saying yes to an incredible opportunity. Because when you start now, you are actually training for that big moment, for that big break. That happened to me this Saturday. If I hadn't been over these past 2 years really dedicating myself to the online space, learning how to do videos, learning how to go live, learning Canva to the fact that I'm obsessed with it right now. Taking other people's coaching programs, learning from other experts in my field, learning what I don't know too, learning about marketing, learning about branding, etc. Really putting myself out there and going live, making a podcast, doing workshops, doing in person events, the memberships, the masterminds, all of it. It wasn't easy. It's still not easy. It's a lot to juggle and manage. But what I learned Saturday was that it was worth it. It has been worth it in ways that I could not even have predicted. Everything I've been doing up until Saturday was steadying my nervous system, putting me in a position where my mind and body and my voice could say yes, building that muscle memory so that I went with the flow. Everything I've been doing was training me for this next chapter. One of my mentors, Victoria Washington, you guys have probably heard me speak about her before. She often talks about that. She usually says, treat every moment as if you are training for the most momentous chapter of your life. And that is the truth. Too many people treat the moments that no one's looking, no one's signing up, no one's on your live, no one's bought this as failure. And so they stop. But we forget that the real value of those moments is you going anyhow, you learning, you hearing your own voice. Like I remember at one point, it was so weird to look at a camera and not hear at the Zoom screen and talk to you while hearing my voice and staying on point with a topic, knowing how far I could meander outside of the topic and a tangential topic and then bring it back. All of that took time to get that down. And now it's much more comfortable. I'm still learning and growing, but man, is it much more comfortable. And that is, I believe, the reason I was able to grab the mic so many times this past Saturday and show up in huge ways. Have opportunities come my way because not only did I say yes to it, but people could feel that I was the one for the job. That's another part of this too, is like your readiness. That's not really needed, but what is needed for you to get the opportunities is an energy that you carry inside of you that you are ready. You don't have to feel up here in your noggin that you're ready. You got to feel in your body that you're ready. The readiness that's in your mind, that's a fallacy, is like a perfectionism thing. I've got to be perfect. I've got to know it all. Then I'm ready. That's not real. But the readiness that you carry in your body is the readiness of, I don't know what's about to happen, but I'm here for it. It's a shade, it's a flavor of confidence. So if you want more confidence and you want to be ready for incredible opportunities when they come your way, and you want to carry the energy of as if you're raising your hand going, I am ready, I am ready. If you want that, then you need to be going now. Whatever it is you're here to do, whatever your sacred mission and your calling is, you got to be taking action on that now, okay? Don't wait, because here's what can happen. Let's get into the story, and then I got to give you my 5 tips here on what I learned from this weekend. So I was invited and asked to fill in for a friend of mine who could not speak this Saturday at the Influential Women's Expo. Shout out to Pam Denton and Kelly Brewer, the hosts, for putting this all together. I was asked to fill in for her. And what's really interesting is that weeks before meeting up with my friend Alex, I was like, she's going to ask me to speak. She's going to ask me to speak. I don't even think she knows this, but I was like, she's going to ask me to speak. And she has expos and events. I was like, oh, maybe she's going to ask me to keynote at her event. She texted me, was like, I got a question to ask you. And I was like, here we go. And she threw me a curveball there because she was like, hey, I can't actually talk, but I'm supposed to at this expo in a couple of weeks. Can you do it? So I was like, well, here's the request that I was feeling. I knew she would ask me to speak. It's just not at her event. So I said, yeah. I showed up early. This was this last Saturday in Rochester. Got the beautiful dress, got the boots, like my hair done. I got a blowout, got my nail polish, got my brand colors. Like I was on point, whole vibe. Showed up, and I've really understood right away that it was important to represent my brand and my company there. I wasn't just there as a speaker. I wanted to be there as a friend, as a inspiration, and as a role model. So I made a point to meet almost every single vendor there, to hear about their products, to hear about their business, to introduce myself, which also I know gave me, I was smart about it. I was like warming up my voice, and also gave me a chance to like practice my intro and practice the words. And sometimes you just have to like start to hear your voice out loud outside of your own head, so it doesn't like rattle you. And you can start to feel in your body the way your vocalization wants to be that day too. That's really important for public speaking. So we'll fast forward here for a second. Show starts. Kelly and Pam are up there kicking off the program. And then there's a 10-minute break, and they come up to me and they're like, our keynote isn't here. She can't be here. I'm not sure the story why. Do you want to fill in? Pam's like, you told me how much you're excited to be here and you wanted to speak more. Do you want to do both? Do you want to be on the panel, but do you also want a keynote and Opus kick us off? And I was like, oh my God. Like I got so nervous. You guys. I wanted to say no. My mind was like, do not. You have no idea what to talk about. You're unprepared. You're going to choke. Just stick to what was safe. And I had practiced enough to know that when that happens, you say yes. So I said yes. Absolutely, I'll do it. So then I went to the bathroom because I felt like I was going to throw up. And I was like, okay, let me do some tapping. So I'm in the stall and I'm doing my tapping and I'm pumping myself up. And all the while I kept saying to myself, you've already won. You've already been accepted. Today is for you. You're meant to be here. Just reminding myself, right? Like you knew weeks ago, months ago that Alex was going to ask you to speak. You've been feeling this intuitively this very moment. So open up, Kim. Open up as much as you can because this moment is for you, not against you. I leave the bathroom. I'm walking towards the presenter area and I can hear they're on the mic. They're calling people back into the seats. And you guys, my body just stops walking. I've never had this happen. No one was around. Luckily, like the vendors were like 100 feet out in front of me, but I was like overcome with fear. I literally felt sick. I quickly felt this fight or flight or freeze. And that was the freeze response. I put my hand on my heart, one hand on my belly. I took a deep breath. And all I remember saying, because it was kind of a blur because I knew I had to get up there, but I remember saying, you can be afraid. It's okay, but we're doing this anyhow. And that was all I gave myself, was a quick nod of, I see you, small, afraid Kim, stuck in old patterns. I see you. You can be here. but we got a job to do. So Big Kim, Queen Kim, CEO Kim came in and was like, let's go. And before I knew it, somehow I was walking up there, had the mic in my hand, and I gave a keynote for about 12, 13 minutes, something like that. Yes, I was shaking. Yes, I felt nauseous sometimes, but you want to know what happened? I'm not even going to downplay. I kicked ass, you guys. It was such a fun moment because what I learned, I was able to speak eloquently. I was able to tell the story. I was able to freestyle, which I know a lot of people wouldn't be able to do in that moment. But again, I'm going to tell you why and how I was able to do it. It's because of this right here. I have practiced the art of speaking, the art of communication. And I not only practice myself telling stories and bringing a message into a quick time frame, but I listen to other people who do it even better than me, who make a living off of that, such as Brendan Burchard. He's a huge voice in my life for storytelling and the importance and how to get it across and how to really nail it. I had muscle memory. And that was my first time speaking with a mic and high heels and my hair all done. But I also had 20 years of yoga teaching experience too. So I was really able to leverage that. The point there being, don't ever discredit any job you've done before. It all bleeds into the now and where you're heading. Okay. I get done keynoting. I sit down. I'm right into the panel. We do an hour of panel discussion going back and forth, me and 5 other women. It was incredible. They were so brilliant. These women knew so much. Oh my God, it was so fantastic. So re-energizing. We get done, take another 10 to 15-minute break. And then the moderator comes up to me and he was doing an awesome job, but he was like, do you want to moderate the next round? I was like, what? And I was like, okay. I don't know what to do. I mean, all I could think of was like, okay, it's kind of like interviewing people on my podcast, which I've done a couple times. I facilitated a lot of group discussions before in yoga retreats and in the yoga studio. Again, see, this is like your past. It all supports the now. Nothing is ever done for no reason. It's all there to add up and support you someplace along the path in the future. So trust your journey. Trust your journey. I cannot emphasize that enough because it was all coming together for me yesterday or Saturday. So I said, of course, I would be happy to. So I moderated. Pam and I moderated. We kicked some questions back and forth. I was on camera again and taking some notes and really making sure to really execute and do a great job with the question asking as well, based on what I was hearing from the next panel of amazing women that were up. And that was it. We closed. And when I tell you that the amazing insanity kept on going, here's what happened after that. I get done, people were coming up to me, congratulating me, asking me like, or, being like, you must do this full time and professionally. I said, no, this is my first time speaking at an event like this, which blew everyone's mind. I was then asked by another woman who was on my panel to speak at her event this coming Sunday, to which I obviously said, hell yes. So your girl has another speaking event this coming Sunday in Rochester. I've got another speaking gig. I'm like, holy shit. And then I was asked to be in the Rochester magazine. And then I was asked to potentially, probably, we just have to discuss it, but I was invited to be a columnist in the Influential Women's magazine on a monthly basis. Are you kidding me? Hell yeah. I had another woman come up to me and share that she believed that I have a TED Talk in me and she believed that I have a book in me and she's a best-selling published author as well. So this is all to say, and I know it sounds like I'm maybe being a little showboaty here. One, I'm fucking proud of myself. And when you have things like this happen to you too, you will be just as proud because it's a really important thing to have it kind of all come together and validate everything you've been doing behind the scenes and no one's been looking. It's such a great feeling. And I know you're going to have that moment too, which is why I'm making this podcast episode about this experience because I learned so much. And I want to pass that along to you so that you're prepared for your breakthrough and your big moment as well. And you don't choke, right? You need to have a muscle memory. So let's go ahead and get into it. What are the 5 top things that I learned from this expo? Talk about just manifesting and saying yes to your fucking destiny. Right? That's what this is about. Say yes, say yes. If you have fear, who cares? If you feel that intuition, you feel it in your gut and you really desire to do it, say yes to your future. Say yes to it because it wants you to. All right, number one, feeling ready isn't necessary for you to thrive. I was thrown several curveballs on Saturday, and at every encounter, I was like, I'm not ready. I don't know what to say. I might fuck this all up. The reason I went forward and the reason I crushed it and the reason people connected with my story and my message, and I was given additional opportunities on top of that was because of number two. So, point one is feeling ready is a fallacy. You'll never be ready, but you can be prepared. Okay. Number two, preparation is because every moment you are in training. Treat every moment, you guys. Every class, every Instagram live, every email you write, every blog post you write, every class you teach, whatever you do, every course you take, every way you're learning and stretching yourself, treat it like you are an athlete. There is a concept called the season of development. That's what I'm talking about. The season of development is you realizing who you want to be, realizing you're not that person yet. And so letting the work of what that person would do professionally develop you. So you kind of pretend you're that person. You act as if now. And the way you move through those tasks, going live, making emails, shaking hands, saying who you are and what your mission is. Have you even practiced that? Have you said out loud what your sacred mission is for your business and for yourself? Things like that is training up your nervous system for the big game day. It's not about who shows up, it's about that I show up. Not about who else is receiving this right now. It's about that I am receiving this. And then I treat it like it's the most important moment ever. My partner Brandon said something to me about this. It was really cool. He goes, I always treated practice. He plays basketball and he's been playing it almost his whole life. He's so good. He said, I treat practice and I show up for practice and I train for practice harder than the game day. So make your practice hard so that when game day comes, it's not as hard. It's going to feel easier. And that applies here so much to really take into account, treat everything in your business like it is game day. You got to be listening right now. Don't worry about training your mind to think. Train your body to feel it. Feel a yes. Feel the way it is to carry yourself in your body as her, as your future self. The mind isn't there yet. It doesn't believe it. That's okay. The body has the faith. The body has the somatic practice of speaking like her, breathing like her, moving like her, talking like her, writing like her, creating like her. You understand? That's all somatics. That's all a muscle memory. So that when your big moment of, hey, do you want to do this, shows up, because it will, you'll have a muscle memory kick right in. The number three, you get out what you put in. I saw this in action in such a huge way on Saturday. I showed up early. I shook everyone's hand. I was really genuine in my desire to meet them. I was like a puppy dog waving my tail around because I was like, oh my God, look at all these other amazing women. And I didn't slip into people pleasing, like, oh, like, let me meet you. I was the queen and so were they. Can you walk into a room like that? Can you walk in with your crown on and see everyone else with their crown on? That's how I was presenting. And that's the energy I want. People can feel that. People can feel if you are feeling like you're beneath them and you're suddenly on a pedestal, they're on a pedestal. Or people can feel, wow, her queen is meeting my queen. And as a result of me being interested in them, they were interested in me and my business. And that intentionality created a whole ecosystem of love and openness and expression and abundance in every moment. So definitely understand that you are going to get out of things, life moments, what you put in. So this is about you knowing your game. What's the energy you're carrying? What's the intention you're carrying? Number four, reputation is important. What you're doing right now in your life is building a reputation. that at some point in the future will come back around. It's like a boomerang. And it happened for me on Saturday. I met this new woman. Her name is Laura. I can't remember her last name right now, but shout out to Laura. She and I connected on a heart soul level. And as I got off the mic keynoting, she comes up and she's like, "Oh my God. So and so and so and so just messaged me." And they were former students of mine at Lotus Life Yoga Center. She's like, "I want you to know," and she got really close. She goes, "Your reputation precedes you. They were singing your praise." And she's like, "And these are two really successful big women." And it really meant a lot to me because at that moment, even though I had evolved out of the role of yoga teacher and no longer connect as much as I did with that world, I recognized and was so thankful for past Kim, for all the love, all the money, all the time, all the stress, everything that went into running that business, that brick and mortar. It was there with me. Positivity and love and good intention is timeless. Even if it doesn't feel like this is what you're going to be doing forever, who cares? Treat it like it is. Even if this isn't something that you're going to do forever or that you even like, who cares? You be the best person. You be the best employee. Be the best person. Have that positive attitude. Show up and inspire other people because it will catch up to you in the future that day. All right. Reputation is important. Number 5, last one. Other powerful women will validate you. I can't tell you how many times I have felt so alone in my business. I'm sitting here. This is where I'm at 90% of the time. Me by myself in my office with my thoughts, sharing it with you. And I'm rarely around other people who do what I do. So if you find yourself in that situation, this is where I'm really saying to you, get to in-person events, workshops, day retreats, whatever, expos, because you're going to find other women who do what you do. And when you open up and you're vulnerable and you're transparent and you connect, you will also hear women who are just like you, who have similar missions, similar stories, or at least just say, "Yeah, I get it," to whatever you say to them. That is worth everything as a solopreneur, as an entrepreneur, as a leader, as a coach, as a healer, as an artist. You have to be with like minded people. So there you have it. There are my 5 top things that I've learned from Saturday. Above all, I want to leave you with this again to echo it one more time. Everything you're doing right now is not for nothing. So what? Someone didn't sign up. Who cares? No one bought. The real important thing here is that you are leading yourself. Have an understanding of the bigger picture, is that you are in practice, baby. You're training. But as long as you have that mentality, you'll be ready. Not ready in the mind, but ready in the body with that muscle memory to go and achieve and do what you're here to do without any hesitation. So let me ask you, what's your plan for today? How are you going to practice? Because every athlete's got a training schedule, right? Start looking at your to-do list, start looking at your calendar like it's your training schedule. Training camp is in session. Let's go, baby. I love it. I love it so much. You guys are going to kick ass. Thanks so much for listening to my story. Let me know what you think. Get a hold of me, especially on YouTube. Leave me a comment underneath this video. Let me know what really moved you. Let me know if you resonated with anything that I said. And if you saw me there at the expo, say hi. I would love to connect with you. If you're coming to Rochester on Sunday, let me know so I can personally look for you there and come up and say hi. And if you're a speaker, what do you think? What are some of the biggest lessons that you've learned from public speaking? Put that below too. I would love to learn from you and keep this discussion going. And of course, like and subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate it so much. Love you guys, and I'll see you very soon.